normally prepare intros for Maida Vale sessions. I just normally get stuck into it, but I feel the need to remind people that their debut album Hybrid Theory sold more than 15 million copies worldwide. Their second album Meteor established them as a heritage artist, along with sold-out tours, remix albums, comps, live albums, an enormously successful collaboration with Hove, Jay-Z. We find Linkin Park back in the building in Maida Vale Studios, just shy of 2 weeks ahead of the release of their brand new album Minutes to Midnight. We got Joe and Chester down the line. What's up, guys?
What's up? How you doing?
Welcome back. It's good to have you there, and thanks very much for bringing the boys and the instruments and the crew in and performing live for us tonight. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
So listen, how big is the Linkin Park machine right now? Are you keeping it streamlined in Maida Vale, or have you got your whole crew? Is everyone back together? Is it like a family reunion?
Actually, it kind of is. You know, we've been working with a lot of our guys for a number of years, and it feels really good to get the whole family back together and ramp up to start touring again.
Well, you've got a new record to play, you know, to put together with all the previous songs that featured on your other music, and it's called Minutes to Midnight. I want to talk about this record. You talked about it being not a departure from Linkin Park and what the fans expect in terms of you guys as a unit, but it is an evolution, correct?
Yeah, the first two albums that we've done were very introspective and very personal.
Yeah.
And a lot of it talking about this is the way I feel and this is how I am at this moment. And on this album, for the first time, we took a perspective of the inside looking out, and for instance, for what I've done in the video, we touch upon where we're at as human beings, and that's something we haven't done before. But I think it's a sign of the times we're in, and it's also a sign of where we're at as individuals and as a band.
People talk about soapboxes, and how more bands should get on them and communicate about what they see and how they feel. But, I was talking to someone in a band about this the other day. The time for soapboxes is long gone. You should be just doing that anyway. You shouldn't have to make a statement going out there and saying this is what's going on in the world. It should just pretty much permeate through your music, I think, because if it doesn't, you've got your eyes closed.
Yeah, I think in the 60s and early 70s, there really was a big movement from musicians to say things that people were afraid to say, I guess. And now it's kind of like we have the right. Like, people expect it from us. It's not like something new. But I think what's more important today is actually the people who aren't in bands. Just the average person needs to start actually doing more. I think a lot of people do a lot of great things, but it's really time for people to really start acting upon the things that we're saying. And I think that's where a lot of the change is going to come. People know what's wrong in the world and they know what's right, and it's just about time to start acting on it.
And on that note, it seems appropriate to get you guys to perform your first dose of live music, the very first single taken from what I would consider to be your third record. No disrespect to any of the other collaborations or things you've done, but this is really the third Linkin Park album. It's called Minutes to Midnight. It's out May 14th, I believe, and if you guys could fire up and hit us off with a stirring rendition of What I've Done to launch this session. heard What I've Done, the first single, a much deeper sound of Linkin Park, and that's saying something because I don't think you guys were really scratching the surface with Hybrid Theory or Meteora, but you've certainly gone a lot deeper down the rabbit hole with your new album, Minutes to Midnight, and Chester and Joe have drawn the short straws and are currently talking to me live on Radio 1, so thanks for doing that. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Is everybody contributing everything to the band again in terms of artwork, in terms of videos and all that kind of stuff? Are you keeping it completely, within the crew again?
Yeah, pretty much. We do everything ourselves, at least everything we can, and it's part of it is for artistic reasons, and part of it is because we're a bit of control freaks.
True indeed, and let's be honest, you get paid as well. You get to pay yourself, which is
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we take what we do very, very seriously, and the only way that we can make sure that we don't kind of get led in the wrong direction is by steering the ship ourselves.
Thinking back to when Meteor ended and the touring ended, how did you feel at that moment? What do you think was the vibe in the camp of the band? I mean, part sort of euphoria and part exhaustion, or were you a bit freaked out by how quickly everything had happened?
Well, I think somewhere before that we accomplished more than what we set out to at the beginning, and we were really pleased with that.
Yeah, and we've been on the road for 5 years at that point, maybe even close to 6, and we were together that whole time. It was kind of nice just to we did take a little break.
It got to you at one point, didn't it, Chester? I remember there being stories of you being really exhausted and it really wearing you down. Have you sort of learnt how you can balance it a bit more before you get back on this treadmill? Because this is just the beginning.
Yeah, well, one of the things I did was I quit drinking. It didn't work very well for me, and I think that was one of the big contributors to my kind of exhaustion and my state of mind.
Are you now 100% sober, or do you enjoy a social drink every now and then?
No, I just stay clear. I just feel better, and I feel like I'm like running 10Ks and stuff, and I think that's going to benefit the show, especially considering how much energy we put out on the shows.
Yeah. You doing push-ups?
Every once in a while.
Yeah. What do you do? What can you do in one sitting? How many push-ups?
I could probably do like maybe 40 or 50.
You're lying.
Yeah,
I can knock out 30. I can't do 40 or 50. What are you, buff now?
No, well, that's the thing.
Joe, Chester buff.
He's light.
He's lightweight.
He's light on his toes. Yeah.
You're gonna play a brand new song for us right now, taken from your forthcoming new album called Minutes to Midnight, and everyone's really excited about having you back here at the show and listening, I'm sure. It's called Given Up. And what can you tell us about the song before you play it?
This song is a little bit about when you find yourself in life, you've got all these great things happening, and you can't seem to make the right decisions, and you're self-destructive.
And at which point you should quit drinking. All right,
that's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, once again, our second live track from our guests tonight. It's great to have them back. Linkin Park, this is Given Up on Radio 1.
Day's been laid to waste in my disgrace. Stuck in my head again. Feels like I'll never leave this place. There's no escape. I'm my own worst enemy. I've given up. I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this away. I'm suffocated. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with me. I don't know what to take. Thought I was focused, but I'm scared. I'm not prepared. I hyperventilate, looking for help somehow, somewhere, and no one cares. I'm my own worst enemy. I've given up. I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this away. I'm suffocated. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with me.
So far, we've gone pretty deep with Linkin Park about the brand new album, Minutes to Midnight, and we've still got Chester and Joe on the line for a little more chit-chat, and then one more live tracker, what I consider to be a classic. So guys, let's talk live. You've made this record, 14 months, 150 demos, it's mastered, artwork's done, it's ready to go, and now the fun stuff really, eh?
Yeah, we're actually here right now, and then we go back home for the release of the record, and then we're coming back to Europe to do a bunch of festivals.
Download as well, man. That's going to
Download.
be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to like kick. The last two records, this record and Meteora, we've kicked it off in Europe, and it's a great way to do it. And this time, it's not like doing free shows for the fan club, which is amazing, but we're kicking it off doing these huge, amazing festival shows and some of our own shows and stuff. But it's awesome to come out here and start the cycle.
What about Project Revolution? You going to bring that back?
Yeah.
You in the package touring business still?
Yeah, Project Revolution, we started that as like an idea that, we could do this every time we tour or every time we have a record out, and it's grown into like this big monster now. And this summer we're taking out My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, Him, Placebo, Julian K, which has former members of Orgy in it, Mindless Self-Indulgence, Seosin, Styles of Beyond.
Ouch.
And there's a couple more I just can't think of. There's like 10 or 11 bands on this tour.
Good work, man. Way to use the Rolodex, Getting out there and getting those bands in, man. It's good work.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
When you think about it, it's been so quick. I know that you're in the second half of your first decade, but still, when you think about how many records you sold, everything you've achieved, I saw a photo the other day when I was doing a bit of extra research to get ahead of this of you, Chester, with Mike, and that performance you did at the Grammys, and Jay-Z and Paul McCartney. Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Do you allow yourself time to reflect, or is that dangerous?
It's really good to reflect because we've had so much happen in such a short period of time, and that was definitely a highlight. One, to do the project with Jay-Z was great, and then to get nominated for a Grammy was like out of this world,
and to win. And then
and then we did the performance, and we brought Paul McCartney out, and I should say he graced our stage, and that was, talk about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to harmonize over such a beautiful song with such an amazing songwriter.
You must have had every single bit of energy in you used to just not crack up in hysterics at the simple surrealness of the whole event,
Yeah, I'm a fan, so I'm a fan of all the bands that we have the pleasure of playing with and meeting, and I get a little dorky sometimes, I get a little nervous, so to speak, when I'm around people that I admire that much, and it was quite a great experience.
Welcome back, guys. It's great to have you, and thanks very much for doing the session. You're going to finish this off with a song which, one of the many that's changed your life and gone on to giving you great success, Numb. What are your feelings about this particular song before you finish up for us tonight? How do you feel about this record now?
We like it a lot.
And on that succinct and typically Johan way, we're going to end this interview. Thanks very much. Nice to talk with you, and one more live track from Linkin Park, and we'll see you on the summer.
Thanks.